With all the market turmoil this month, I'm taking the opportunity to buy some of my favorite stocks out there. Today, I'm going to tell you about 5 of them. We're going to talk in the order at which I'm buying. So we're going to talk about the one I've bought the least of, all the way up to the one I've bought the most of, which of course is kind of the order in which I prefer them. These stocks are all Canadian companies that I think have great value opportunities for long-term investors. So let's jump right into the list. Number 5 today is going to be Brookfield Corporation. And these guys are a really, really interesting company. We've actually done a video recently talking about them. It's a company that has just all over reach throughout Canada and throughout, honestly, the world. It is an incredibly high cash flowing business that has amazing returns over the last couple of years. The compound annual growth rate on their total return in the range of 25%. Obviously, they have all sorts of different businesses attached to the name, but this month I bought into the main company, the corporation. And honestly, I think it makes a lot of sense for most investors. Diversified already, it's been growing fast, it's got a really strong track record, and honestly, it's in a lot of those spaces that I think are going to see opportunity as the Canadian economy has to redirect its attention and grow in different ways. I think these guys are really well positioned to take advantage to continue seeing growth. That's why I'm buying that company. That's why they're number 5. Number 4 today is all about WSP Global. I love this company, honestly. We've talked about them here on the channel. They are a massive professional services firm based here in Canada that really do focus on things like infrastructure and on solving problems. And importantly, they've had a lot of expertise in the space of energy and building out ports, pipelines, coastal facilities. I think they're really, really well positioned for the Canadian economy in the next couple of years. I also think, importantly, they are not dependent on it. This is one of those companies that I think of as an opportunity to sort of diversify myself out of the North American market, which is something, honestly, I think more of us should be thinking about right now, because there seems to be more instability in that market than there has been over the last couple of years. WSP gives me opportunities to not only position myself with probably the number 1 player for any infrastructure project throughout the country, they're going to be involved somehow, but also puts me in a position to be attached to somebody who might be part of infrastructure projects in places like Australia, Europe, South America, Africa, the Middle East. They are all over the world. And so that's why they are number 4. Of course, massive company. I love them. Let's move on to number 3. Third on the list, Canadian Natural Resources Limited, ticker symbol CNQ. I love this company. They are the big dog in the Canadian oil space. And right now, I think it's probably one of the best times that we have had to invest in that space. There seems to be a growing consensus politically in Canada that oil is actually important. And that means that we might see a whole generation of infrastructure investments into the Canadian energy sector that unlocks value for these guys they could have never hoped to unlock a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years ago. I think if you are willing to hold on for at least 5-10 years, you are going to see massive, massive returns from this company. And my time horizon is even longer. That's why they're number 3. That's why I'm putting a lot of money into this company. I think they are probably the single best positioned company for a turnaround in the Canadian energy space in the long run. Number 2 today, Agnico Eagle. Now, the price of gold is just going parabolic. And honestly, there have been more bullish stories about gold than any other commodity that I have seen in the last week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is from investors in China suddenly deciding to put a lot of their investment into physical gold. This is from people losing a little bit of their faith in different currencies around the world. And honestly, Agnico Eagle is one of the best positioned Canadian miners and one of the best positioned miners in the world. They dodge some of the risks of people like Barrick, and they have just such a fantastic management team that has done a really, really good job of unlocking the value of the increased gold price and using that to make this company even more efficient and even better positioned for long-term growth, long-term efficiency. I think honestly, they're probably the number 1 pick in the Canadian mineral space in general, and they're certainly my number 2 pick for stocks to buy right now. Number one today, it's what you've been waiting for. My very favorite stock in Canada to buy right now is National Bank. There's a million things going well for this bank. I personally think they're the most undervalued Canadian bank. I did a video about this not that long ago. Just looking at the metrics, looking at the growth, their future value, their future growth, it hasn't been priced in. There's almost never an opportunity like this in the Canadian banking space. And with all of the worry about the Canadian economy, there is an even greater weight holding the price down and giving you a better opportunity for what seems like it's going to be an extended period of uncertainty. I think this is really one of the key players that you should be picking up, and I am picking up in the Canadian space. And honestly, I think they are probably the best stock to buy right now in Canada, February 2025. So now I want to hear from you. What stocks are you buying this month? I would love to see that in the comments. Let me know. What do you think of my picks? Is there anything you would replace on this list? Thinking about some of the same kind of industries, right? Maybe you have a different banking pick or a different oil pick or a different minerals pick, a different like infrastructure pick. Love to hear from you guys. And if there are any stocks that you think I should be adding to this list for next month, for March, please do let me know. I'll try to keep you guys updated. With that being said, if you made it this far in the video, you enjoy this kind of content, you want to hear more about investing in Canada, please do subscribe to the channel, like the video, makes a huge difference, and it doesn't cost anything. With that being said, I hope I see you in the next video.